Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second installment of Jam Ladies. I am your obviously sick host, Amanda, here with the regular stable of ladies.
Laura.
Zach.
Mimi.
And Irene.
And we have our first special guest. We have the lovely Kim here. Hi, Kim. Welcome to Jam Ladies.
Hi.
Hi, Kim.
We met Kim by accident after we saw Jam at Tokyo Dome, and we were sitting in TGI Fridays having a post-con decompression.
I was making eyes at you guys, and you didn't even look at me. I kept staring because I was by myself at the time, and I was just like, they're foreigners and they're wearing Kanjani things. I want to be friends.
But she came up to our table and just started talking and sat down, and we can't get rid of her.
Scariest moment of my life, but it was worth it.
I know, you're so brave. To this day, I'm still astounded. Yeah, you're one of us now. We should point out that we are actually in Tokyo. We're in Chiba, actually. We are at the Tokyo Disneyland Resort, myself, Laura, and Kim, because tomorrow is my birthday.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
Yay! Happy birthday, bitch!
Yeah.
Oh, just a disclaimer. When I call my friends bitch, it means I love them.
There you go.
The greatest gift of all, being called bitch by Irene.
Yes, indeed.
So before we get into what everyone is dying for us to talk about, trust me, we'll get there. Let's get straight into the news that's not the group. Okay, so I'm actually going to hand over to Zach, who is creepily in our house right now.
being hissed at by your cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
She is controlling everything because I really don't want to ruin everyone's listening experience with my voice. So, Zach, take it away with the news.
So a week ago, Crystal was released, and we have 3 versions of the Crystal single. So the single includes the song Crystal for Nishikidoryo's drama Trace, that is a Getsuku drama under Fuji TV. And along with it, we have 2 other singles.
Omekash and Saku Ima.
Yeah. So those 2 songs, one of the songs was written by the members, which the translation is like there's a lot of shade in that the songs. Yeah.
I didn't have any scandalous meetings on Friday.
Yeah. And he spoke too soon. There you go.
What did Zach say again? Have a
I hope we have another
Exciting week.
please. Okay. Let's make a pact right here and now to never use the word exciting, because it can go bad or good. Anyway, yes. So going back to Crystal.
Okay, and in addition to the songs in Crystal, we also have a clip or clips from the Taiwan concert of Kanjani 8, which we have a special appearance of our 2 members of Jam Ladies giving Rio the shock of his life.
I just want to say I was not pissed off. I was not pissed
But
off.
you do look.
Are you sure? Are you sure, Amanda?
Like,
Kidding.
what the hell?
I realized that actually through the whole of Greatest, I normally dress appropriately, meaning I wear my image color. I wear an orange dress, I wear what have you. All the way through Greatest, I actually didn't wear orange at all. I wore a green dress or I wore neutral colors. And I'm like, was Maru salty that I didn't, that I didn't wear an orange dress? So he was like, he got his own version of Final Cut Pro and edited it together and found the worst clip of me he possibly could. and put it in there because I don't know why I would be so pissed at the end of Skianen.
Yeah.
Because I'm like,
You you tell us.
I don't know.
And the funny thing is, the spotlight was on you.
Yeah. The funny thing was, Amanda totally looked pissed, and Laura was just like,
Happy.
Well, I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? Again, I just want to reiterate, we were not laughing at him. We were laughing at the situation.
Yeah. When I got the DVD, I got it just before, like I had to leave the house, and I did a really quick skim through just to see what was happening, and it was like, oh, okay, it's the first day, great, cool, we've been spared. And then the second day loads, and I'm like, oh, they wouldn't possibly, because they didn't put every song on the DVD.
Yeah,
They wouldn't
yeah.
possibly
Yeah.
put this medley in there. And then, of course, it starts, and the first clip we see of Nishiki is literally him spotting us and acknowledging us. And I'm like, fuck my life.
Yeah.
Fuck my life. But there was also a part of it because we've been telling this story since, when was Topo?
September.
September. We've been telling this story since September. It was just like, we told you. We weren't lying.
We weren't like exaggerating
No.
for comedic effect.
No. How do we feel about the song?
Well, for me, Crystal is okay. It's they say some of the people said that it's not really for drama like Trace, but then it's quite cool. So
who are those people? I will fight them. No, I'm kidding. I would like to hear Mimi's thoughts about this because I think you were specifically comparing Crystal to yes.
It's hard
go on.
not to compare. It's
Uh-huh.
hard not to compare with the Sakanaction song
Uh-huh.
because it does sound like Sakanaction. Like when the preview went out, people were tweeting Ichiro Yamaguchi of Sakanaction if he wrote the song because everyone thought he wrote it, but he denied it.
Yeah, he actually.
Well, yeah, it sounds
so-
like a
so-
Sakanaction song.
So it actually like people were actually thought it sounded so much like Sakanaction. They tweeted the singer.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they
they
had to
tweeted
deny
him.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
But he added something, right?
Yeah,
like
'cause
he would want to
Yeah, like
actually.
he wanted to. Yeah, he wanted to write in the future for
Yeah.
them. But
with
like,
Kajani.
why would you need to write for them when they can make it sound like you?
So you think is it a good thing or a bad thing, Mimi?
I like Sakanaction,
Uh-huh.
so I should like it. But with Rio's past,
Okay, what is
With-
Rio's past? What do you mean with Rio's past?
like he makes songs, his solos sound like Acid Man's or God, one of his solos sound like Avril Lavigne's or I don't know, whoever he likes. Fun 8 sounds like a Red Hot Chili Pepper song. So
Remember, Mimi? Like, we were waiting for it. I knew it was going to happen. At Jism, we kind of had a bet that eventually one of them was going to crack and was
they
going to
really were
give it
gonna
away,
give it away. Yeah, yeah.
And they did, and Okura
Ugh.
but the next day was DVD filming day, and they were back on their best behavior.
Yeah.
Because Johnny's didn't want a lawsuit, but you know.
Yeah. Actually, in defense of NSKD, well, I don't know if it's in defense or if I'm just a stan. Yes, I'm a stan. No, but like, singers in, should I say Hollywood? Do they say Hollywood for singers in America? Like, okay, I'm gonna mention Ariana Grande and her recent single Seven Rings, and it's like, I actually heard it for the first time. Like, what? When I first heard it, I'm like, what the fuck? It's like that song from what is that? Sound of Music? My favorite things. It's my favorite things. And it's like it sounds exactly like it. And it's a thing that American singers in particular do. I don't know why.
No, they can sample.
Yeah, sample.
It's called
but-
sampling. Yeah.
So I think it's almost the same. Like I think I don't personally, because I know Rio. No, I'm kidding. No, like I don't think he's stupid enough to actually like plagiarize something. And I think him being the nerd that he is, like he sort of researches on it and tries to find loopholes. No, I'm kidding. Maybe. Yeah, I would agree that I think people think it doesn't fit Trace because in a way I think they're expecting more of an Arashi sound, which by the way people also said Crystal sounded like Arashi.
I'm just going to point out songs that don't fit dramas. Ace Down. Ace Down did not suit the drama that it was a part of.
What's that? What
Ace
song was that?
Down was the theme song for the Kagi drama with Ono and Erika Tora. Tora Erika. You don't even remember it, but it doesn't fit it at all. No. Like it'd be like this. It'd be like Ono with these glasses, and he's like, you know, trying to crack a safe or a door or whatever the plot of that drama was, and it would be like, supernova next to the door, and you're like, what? It doesn't work at all.
Yeah,
like,
and also, guys,
next to the door.
This is Johnny's we're talking about. They literally do not sing songs that fit dramas. If you think about it. They just have their own Johnny sound.
do you guys remember the song Cannonball?
Yeah.
The B-side to Gamashara?
Mm-hmm.
That song, it's my fucking jam, but it is like cartoon came in and stole their souls or something. Like it's like dun 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 dun.
Yeah. Right. Yes. Next on not on our news, not the group.
Is Hina's show. There you go.
When you say show, you mean butai?
Yeah, it's like the CEO thing for him with Kismai and West members. So wait, Hina's butai will be in the first week of April, right?
Yeah.
So it's quite fast.
Yeah,
I mean, they announced it in middle of March, and the butai will be in April. So they're doing it fast right now. But it came out also the news when that fateful Wednesday of Crystal.
Everyone was like, "Oh my god, we've got an email from Johnny's. We got an email from the Count Johnny fan club." Oh.
And it's like, oh, just Hina. No.
It's Hina. Hina's like stuff getting more money from us.
We had lunch with our Hina-tan today, and she only knows one person who hit, and someone on my Instagram hit. And so there's a conspiracy theory that perhaps the people who hit were actually people under 30, because her friend that hit is quite young, and the person that I follow on Instagram is also quite young. She's like 1998 line, as they say here. So maybe they only want kids at their shows. Who knows? But Hina apparently is only going to be at the very start of the show, and then he's going to piss off and do CEO things like golf and
Fuck his secretary.
yeah,
Fucking CEOs do.
pretty much. None of us are saltier women with jobs. So it's kind of not worth it, considering that resale tickets at the moment are sitting at 115,000 yen at the bottom price, and people are buying them. So it's just not worth it.
Yeah, our Hina-tan goes, when I looked at tickets, it said, they were like Jugomon, and we were all just like, wait, no, you must be misspeaking. You mean 150,000 yen? And she's like, yeah. And we're just like, okay.
The guests or the members of the other groups will just show up on specific
So you don't even
days.
know if like
Who shows up on what day?
that sounds like more trouble than it's worth.
We're moving forward. We have another butai news that came up within the last 2 weeks. It's Yoko's. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yay,
Yeah.
Yoko's gonna play
So Yoko
Sai. My thoughts, it's gonna be only in Tokyo, so I have to go to Tokyo, and it's gonna be all in like old timey language. So I'm gonna be sitting there like I don't know what the fuck anybody is saying, because I have trouble understanding Yoko just when he's speaking standard Japanese. So like
Burn.
I do. I can only understand him when he's speaking Kansai-ban. Like, it's very difficult. So I am annoyed that I'm gonna have to like pay to get on a fucking Shinkansen to come to Tokyo, and then pay to like see a play that I'm probably not gonna understand just so that I can look at Yoko. But obviously I'm gonna do it. What do you think, Kim?
Same.
But you don't have to take the Shinkansen.
I
You
can
can
go
go on
home
the
that night.
So we don't have dates yet for the show in Tokyo, but it's gonna be in Tokyo Globes.
Yeah. So it'll have some stupid novelty that I have to buy like 5 of. Woo woo!
Can we all remember when Maru was Macbeth and the novelty was a perpetual calendar where he has a fish on his head at one stage, and there's one that just says don don dan dan don don dan don don dan. Like Macbeth, Shakespeare, sure, they go together. All right, what's next?
Dun 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 dun.
The last piece of news, and probably the most important for us, is that we are getting a 15th anniversary tour. The reason we got these dates a month and a half early before getting balloting information is pretty much the topic of tonight's episode. So let's get into it, shall we, ladies? Are we ready?
But just to mention, the name of the tour is Jugosai with me, which means 15th festival, basically, because Sai means festival.
So the tour is a bit of a haphazard schedule. We're starting July 14th in Hokkaido as per usual. We then move July 19th to the 21st to Nagoya, July 27th to 29th, Osaka, August the 3rd and 4th, Fukuoka, and then for some reason, for the first time ever, we're doing all final in Tokyo. And it's bizarrely September the 1st to September 1st to September 3rd, Sunday to Tuesday. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of people in this chat calling in sick. So, welcome to episode 2, where unfortunately we're getting serious, and we're getting serious quicker than we wanted to. But this week we are going to be talking about rumors, fandom, and behavior. Is probably, we sound like strict school moms.
We are, well, we could be moms, but we're not.
I could be Marius's mom. Yeah, I actually could. I could be his whore of a teenage mother. I wouldn't have graduated high school probably, but anyway.
So, on March 6th, that was a Wednesday, hump day, everyone was having a pretty peaceful week. And then suddenly, Bunshun, that's Shunkan Bunshun, it's a gossip rag. It's a shitty gossip rag, but a very popular one.
A shitty gossip rag that hates Johnny's.
Yeah, okay, so there's that. Released online article. This is online because the real article in the magazine was released the next day, March 7th. And the article basically said in the headline that Nishikido Ryo of Kanjani 8. Wait, no, that's not right. Nishikido Ryo will leave Kanjani 8. That is the headline. And it was the way it was written in Japanese was not like in a question mark. It's like they declared that Ryo was leaving Kanjani 8. Which is shitty of them because it's not, they wrote it basically as not a rumor, but as, hey bitches, we have first-hand information that Nishikido Ryo of Kanjani 8 is gonna leave Kanjani 8 and Johnny's or something like that. And interestingly enough, March 6th is also when Crystal was released.
Yeah.
Speaking from a personal point of view, I was still working at the time. The article was released like 5 p.m. or something. So, I started, my phone sort of started getting notifications and stuff like that there was something happening. And then I took a peek. And it was like, fuck you, Rio. Really, you could have just wait for 1 more hour so I can focus on your fucking
You like to do
rumor.
this to us.
Yeah. So anyway, and also, funnily enough, at the time I was planning on going to Tower Records to buy my Crystal single, which I still did, but it was with a very weird feeling and sort of a heavy heart that like, oh no, there's this rumor that might be true because, as you all know, we were screwed over by one Shibotani Subaru. No, sorry, not screwed over. We love you, Subaru. Yeah. So yeah, as you all know, almost a year before, Friday published this quote unquote rumor that Subaru was leaving Kanjani 8, which we all sort of maybe brushed off and turned out to be true, which is exactly the reason why we were all freaked out when this Nishiki rumor came out. Yeah, so let's talk about what we felt when we all saw the rumor for the first time, the real rumor.
I was just honest. Yeah, I mean, the Nishikito fans here, you're obviously the one that people want to hear from, but I was honestly just very confused. I, I was in that mindset where it was kind of like, when your mum goes to the shops and you really want her to buy you a chocolate bar. So you say, oh, mum's not going to buy a chocolate bar. And then mum buys you a chocolate bar and you're like, yes, I aimed for the worst scenario and I got a better scenario. So I was kind of in that mindset because I was kind of like, this doesn't make sense. From the outset, it didn't make any sense to me. We had an entire year and an entire tour where this person had stood in front of us and told us that he was the one that was going to get us through us, that he was going to make sure that the band got through it. There's the infamous now J Web from Subaru, his last J Web, where, he quotes Nishiki saying that he is going to be the one to propel Kanjani 8 forward into the future. So I was very, very confused, but I was kind of also thinking the worst because Nishiki was that chocolate bar. So it's like if my mum went to the shop to buy me a Nishiki and then didn't come home with a Nishiki, then I'd be like, oh, it's okay. What a terrible analogy.
I would love a Nishiki bar.
I
Do you
would
know
like
what
a
I'm saying,
Nishiki bar.
though?
I would eat the shit out of the Nishiki bar.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is I was just incredibly confused, and I don't know him personally. I only know him from his persona or what we're allowed to see, but I don't think that he's a very good. Well, frankly, I don't think he's a liar. I don't think he has it in him to be a very good liar, and I don't think that he couldn't have done this for this long. He could have pretended to care or give a shit if he was suddenly just going to up and leave. And from a completely business standpoint, the back of my mind, the adult part of me that pays bills and what have you, was like, they own every single song that he's written, so he would lose all the rights to those songs. The moment Subaru left, they would have put the 6 of them in a room and put them on a contract with extremely high salaries, perks up the wazoo. Like,
And,
there's no way that they...
And airtight, probably really airtight
I
contracts.
think so.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I felt.
The fact that they said in the article, they cited one of the reasons that he was leaving was like he was fighting with Yoko and Hina. And that made me really furious because I was like, that's his mom and dad. Leave them out of it. And honestly, I didn't believe it. Like, I didn't think that it could be true because it didn't make any sense. Like, after everything that we'd experienced and after everything that he said, like Amanda said, I don't think that he's a liar in that way. Like, I mean, he might very well be a liar about, like, small things, but he's not, like, he's such a credulous person all the time. Like, you can see what he's thinking and you can see what he's feeling, like, right on his face. So
Right, exactly.
I don't think that he would be able to go out there in front of us every single show of that tour and say the things that he said and act the way that he did if he had one foot out the door.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah, so Kim being sort of the impartial person.
I was just waiting for an official email from Johnny's. if
Mm.
something was going to happen.
Yeah.
No, so but like when you heard it, like what did you first think? Were you like, or your stance was immediately, oh, I'm just gonna wait for an official email.
Yeah, I think I was like, oh, I think if something happened, like one of my friends would message me or something.
Mm. You have such faith in your friends. That's on you, Laura and Amanda. That's on you, Laura and Amanda. Yeah. Okay, Zach, how about you?
Well, on that time, I didn't really have time to react because I still had a class when I just glanced at my phone and then it's like, okay, need to focus first and then do what I needed to do. Initially, it's like shock and worry because we know that he has his own life. I mean, he's the one always out of the door every time the concert ends and it has his own thing to do. So the possibility of him leaving, doing his own thing, is not really, or there is a possibility for it. And this rumor has hit us before. I mean, this kind of announcement and so on, as you said, has hit us before a year before, and it's just goes. My head just goes back to the time that we were like laughing at it, the thing with Subaru, and then
Right.
come Sunday, everything crashed. So it's like I don't want to take it lightly. Also, as even though in my mind I know that there is, I mean there is no reason for him to leave because of everything that has happened the past year. But then there's still a big chunk of me who is doubting my belief in him also, and that's why I was like, my stand was out of sight, out of mind, until until Sunday comes, until Sunday is over.
Came until
Or-
Sunday came.
Yeah, well, at that time, when that Wednesday, until Sunday comes, I'm gonna have the stance of I don't want to worry about it, so I don't want to look at it. I don't want to see it. Since I know it's gonna be Subaru leaving is already a big heartbreak for us fans. But then with Rio, if he's leaving not only Kanjani 8, but Johnny's and so on and so forth, that's a bigger hit for me and also other Rio fans, like the two of you guys. Because we've been there since news, we've been there for everything.
Oh, and just to mention, we've been there when he left news. Yeah, so I think this in a way, sorry, this rumor is also sort of feeding into the whole, oh, Nishikido did it once, he can do it again kind of
No, I think that Nishikido did it once, he can do it again. It's not really the same comparison as what's happening right now. Since I think one of the reasons why a lot of people also put weight into this is because of what happened to Arashi and what happened to Taki Tsubasa, what happened to Subaru, and even goes back to Jin. Well,
who was mentioned in the rumor, by the way, you guys. He was mentioned that Akanishi Jin, despite having degenerative lumbar whatever, is triumphant because he's succeeding in luring away Johnny's from the company. Yeah.
for this, like, you cannot say that he won't be envious of his friends. Like, Yamapi has his own thing alone, and Jin has his own thing, and then for sure he has other friends in the music industry who's going solo.
Can we point out that this was the guy who only left news because Yamapi called a meeting and he was basically given an out?
Right.
So it was like, and what are you planning to do? Oh, fuck yes, finally I can do this without any repercussions. Like he obviously is someone who really cares about not hurting people. You know, I think people might view him as being a bit of a pushover sometimes, but I think that if he went solo, he wouldn't have anyone to hide behind.
Yeah.
And something that he really exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that he actually gets a lot of power from being in a mass as opposed to being by himself. I don't think he could stand in front of. Actually, no, we've seen him stand in front of 55,000 people in dead silence
And go, そうですね。
And be
How about you,
awkward,
Mimi?
incredibly awkward.
I agree with everything you've said. Like, it shook us up. Yeah. Otherwise, we would have just brushed it off. But as with other rumors, you take it with a grain, a bucket, 3 kilos of salt. But again, I had like an epiphany. Wow. When I just realized that, like, what happened 2018, Johnny's Exodus. It's like I think I really do not know them, no matter how much I think I know them. Like, no matter what I hold, what opinions I have of them. It's like, because this is work. This is work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, for them, for them,
Work.
for them.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just, it's their job. Like, you can quit your job.
Yeah. Like, people retire after 10, 15, 20 years. And they're at that age, they might want to live their lives or whatever. So,
Hi, Subaru. Sup?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, after a decade, I
Yeah,
want to do
yeah,
something else. Like, even
Right.
at the peak of your career,
Mm-hmm.
you can choose to go, you find something else that you're passionate about. I mean, as an adult, I think most of us understand that as adults. Because
Right.
like, if this happened like
Yeah.
10 years ago, we'd all be, no.
Yeah,
you
how
cannot
dare you?
leave." Yeah. But now we understand how adulting works.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I
if
think-
he does leave, if he stays or whatever, I think, keep an open mind.
So the first question is, where do these rumors come from?
Imagination.
Imagination can be.
Fan fiction writers of Bunshin.
Well, I think it's important to note, like, the Subaru one was Friday, right? And this was Bunshun, and Johnny's has a relationship with Friday, and Bunshun has it out for Johnny's. So Friday is the one that gets fed one scandal to take the heat off of another scandal. Bunshun is the one that just, like, wants to watch the world burn.
And I think there was something that I kept seeing was people going, well, Johnny's has to address this. Johnny's has to address this. And it's like, no, they won't address this. They won't. They're not going to say, yeah, he's not leaving. That's not how it rolls.
Yeah.
So I think as longtime fans, wow, as if I consider myself one. Well, yeah, I think basically Laura maybe and even Mimi can speak for this, that whenever there were rumors, yeah, Mimi, don't make that face. Whenever there are rumors about whatever when it comes to Johnny's, they never say anything about it if it is not true. You cannot say, oh, Johnny should acknowledge this. No, they will not. They will not.
They never deny.
Yeah, I think the closest that you get to an acknowledgement is the fact that we got the tour announcement
Yes.
a month and a half before we actually will be balloting for it.
Yeah, I think it's really important to point that out, that that does not happen. Usually when a tour is announced, what happens is as fan club members get a useless piece of paper in the mail.
Yes.
It didn't used to be useless.
Yeah.
And it all happens within about 2 weeks, give or
Yes.
take.
Yes.
This is your confirmation from Johnny's. This was them saying, and this is them saying that at this stage, Nishikiro Ryo is staying in the group and they're going on a tour. Last year, obviously, we had the tour announced around the same time. If you step back and you look at it with a knowledge of how the rumor mill works in Japan, Friday was fed the story about Subaru to cover another story. We're not going to go into that. That's really none of our business. That's a whole nother fandom's issue. It was quite a big story that had to be squashed. Subaru, we believe, was supposed to be a part of Greatest, because why would you be celebrating 14 years as a group when 15 was the next year? So they had all these promotional photos in front of the airport, which obviously that meant that Taipei was underway. They were, that sort of stuff. So Subaru was supposed to be a part of Greatest. I will stand by that from
Contract went to the end of
exactly,
the year.
yeah. So I think he was supposed to be at Greatest. I believe that Taipei was supposed to be his samurai song, let's say that. The pen light had red in it. The baby had a penis. We all know where that came from. But the most telling thing is that he was paid until the 31st of December 2018. He received a paycheck until December 31st, 2018. So
And all the other
Friday-
commercials and stuff still featured
Exactly.
Subaru actually.
Yeah.
When airing
So
on TV.
there was obviously something in his contract. You look at his solo stuff, you look at Misono Universe, they were projects to keep him occupied. He had one foot out of the door, I always felt, when I joined the fandom. And, I'm a very pragmatic person. I tend to view things not as black and white. There's shades of grey and everything. But I do believe that they gave him these projects. It didn't work out. He said to them, if you fuck me around one more time, I'm out. They fucked him around one more time. They threw him under the bus to save someone else in his company. He said peace. They let him go. That's how it works. It's not a case of they're hiding things from us or they're doing this or they're doing that. This is literally a massive, all-encompassing company that does not have a Twitter presence. It does not have an Instagram presence. It only recently got a semi-YouTube presence. It only recently gave you the ability to join its fan club online, and even then you can't use a credit card. You still have to use an ATM. It only recently gave you the ability to change your address online. It's a very, very analog company, and at the end of the day, they're not going to come out and dispel a rumor about Okra having set beds on fire any more that they're going to dispel rumors about Duo leaving, And I think that that's really important. And we're not talking down to people
who have actually who panicked. And
it's just more giving people what we want to tell you is that it's okay to react how you react. But it's also important to remember that if you are using social media or if you are someone that has a platform, that you need to be careful with what you say. Because a lot of people, and all of us are guilty, for lack of a better word, all of us have used this group as a crutch in bad times. They've gotten us through some rough patches. That's fine. That's fine. But the moment that it becomes hazardous to your health,
I think there was a lot of reaction online that was just really
intense,
making things worse.
Right.
There was, it was creating this perpetual motion machine of panic that everyone was joining in on. And, it's understandable that we all are a little bit raw after what happened last year.
Right.
But, throwing around like, oh, we all have PTSD or, that kind of thing. Like, we need to be cognizant of the way that we talk about these things and the way that we discuss our feelings and do it in a way that's helpful and supportive to each other and not just making things worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, because I think, rumors come out all the time,
They do.
and usually
They do.
they end up just being, some funny Twitter memes, but like the bicycle one or, Okra setting beds on fire. But, I think that there was a grain of, remembering what happened last year to this one that made it seem a lot scarier, and it just started to really gain momentum. Like, I was really surprised at how big it got. Like, it came out on that Wednesday and I was like, oh, well, this will blow over. And it wasn't blowing over, and it was it was like people were really getting intense about it.
Yeah,
And I
even
think
normal
that-
people here in Japan actually are concerned.
The thing with actually reacting to these rumors, while I think I can speak for all of us, we encourage, well, not encouraged, like it's okay. We think it's okay to react however you want to react. What I do not like is reacting in such a way that it causes panic,
To other people, yeah.
and it's sort of a snowball avalanche kind of thing that is no longer healthy for any of us, I think. So yeah, you can feel like bad, like that there are rumors like these, but to actually go out there and have, dare I say, ridiculous conspiracy theories about this. Well, we do actually, ladies have our own theories.
Johnny's dead.
Yeah.
That's a
He-
whole
Johnny
that's a whole
Johnny
episode
is just
Johnny
a
is dead,
robot.
another-
Johnny is a robot. And social media is something that is very it spreads like wildfire. Whatever you say on social media is already out there. You can delete it. People might have screen
Can't
caps.
take it back.
Yeah, you can't take it back. So you have to be super responsible.
Especially if you have a lot of followers, actually,
Yeah.
and people relying on you.
Yeah, and I think um if you really have doubts and stuff, you can always reach out in DMs, direct messages and stuff like that to your close friends, or to, I don't know, to any fan you think you would feel comfortable talking about this, instead of blasting your thoughts out there in a sort of irresponsible way.
Some people has a lot of followers, and even international fans rely on some other fans to give them news, because like they're not really fluent with the language, and also into the are up to date to everything with everything else. So it's like before, I mean, if you have that footing of a good following or something like that, that's the time you need to really be cautious also of what you're feeling. And also, just as what Mimi said earlier, she took a step back. I mean, she has an epiphany. Is this a rumor that I can believe in? Is there something backing this? And then just take a step back, not really tweeting your initial reactions, because sometimes, as in every case, taking a step back, giving yourself time, like an hour even before tweeting or something, will make you realize a lot of stuff. And if you feel, and we're touching this already, because venting out in Twitter, venting out in social media might only be the only platform that
Your only
these
avenue,
people,
yeah.
that these people can actually share their feelings, because like some people might be closeted, quote unquote, of how they feel about idols, and they have no one else in their real life to talk to about it, and people on Twitter are the only ones that they can reach out to, but they
But at
haven't made.
that point,
You can use DMs, you can. I think especially if you're an account that is imparting a lot of news and has, that kind of clout, as it were. Like, I think that there's a responsibility to separate your personal feelings from what you're reporting as news, because if people believe in you and people trust you, they're going to say, oh, well, this account that I really trust is talking about this rumor, so it must be true, it must be credible, and that's how it spreads.
If you're not feeling well, if it makes you already feel bad things or panic or do something else,
Step back.
as what I did before or something, it's like out of sight, out of mind, step back. You need to prioritize yourself first, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's
Your
like,
health, your life.
And I would just like to point out that, guys, this will not be the last shocking rumor
No.
that there will be.
No.
No.
Yeah. And let us just all remember that this is their job.
I think
Yeah.
sometimes it's easy to forget.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
whole conceit of idols is that they're, literally the word, they're idols. Like, they're
Yeah.
objects of worship. So
Yes.
they're not supposed to seem like human beings, They're not supposed to, like, poo or whatever. But, like, yeah, they are allowed to fart. But,
No, that's why I
but
love
it's
fandoms,
like,
because they're
yeah.
not, they're human.
I think it's really important to point out, if you've never seen a Japanese tabloid, it's a completely different kettle of fish than what you're used to. It's not the National Enquirer. It is not Star Magazine. It is not New Idea. That's an Australian women's tabloid. They have a girl with her tits out and then a bunch of bullshit on the cover. And it is absolute, just putrid bullshit. And it's not just about artists. It's about politicians. It's about public figures. It's about whoever they can just hook into at that time. And people buy these magazines, men buy these magazines because they have the gravure models. And then women buy these magazines because it's got this gossip in them. There are very few instances where you can clearly say, oh, this is a completely true situation. And the only one that comes to mind for me is actually when Koki left and the pictures of his dick were leaked.
Oh, yeah. Do you remember that, Kim?
And that was leaked to a tabloid called Knuckles, which is literally the worst tabloid on the face of the planet. So we can't. They're a completely different. They're a completely different tabloid to what the West is used to, and these people are untouchable. Frankly, they project an image that we have all attached to. We all like Kanjani because they're #real. But at the end of the day, they are quite high up on the totem pole. There's no rumors that we can have about Arashi anymore because they're leaving. So what's the next clear target? Oh, Kanjani, let's do that.
The group that has the next highest number of fan club members is Kanjani.
Well, see, I guess for me, like, I can't read Japanese, so I didn't even know about Dudo until I saw someone put on Twitter the article, but then I couldn't read it. So then I was like, okay, Google Translate. Because I first thought it was like some scandal with a woman when it was posted. I'm just like, oh, is he with another woman now, or?
Nishikiro Josei ga daisuki is my favorite.
Yeah, like, oh my god,
Like,
guys, tell me
Oh my god,
something
he
I
likes
don't know.
women. Like,
Really?
I would be more concerned if a headline came out that was like Nishikiro Ryo, secret misogynist, hates women. Like,
I would actually like to point out that because of this rumor, it's sort of shit on Crystal, which again, as I've said
For
before, I
sure.
really loved. So like
Yeah.
instead of focusing on the rumor, like actually go and listen to Crystal, because it's
Yeah.
Yep, support them.
awesome.
enjoy what they have produced and what they've put out there for us. to
Yeah.
enjoy, not what's trying to capitalize
Uh-huh.
on their fame.
That's why we have to take the rumors with a grain of salt every
Yes.
time.
Every
Because
time.
if it's anything like the entertainment world here,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the managers of the artists themselves, they put out the rumor as a form
Right.
of promo
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
people talking about the artist. So
Right.
it could be something that Johnny's themselves they release the like fake rumors or whatever as
Right.
part
Yeah,
of
yeah,
promo.
yeah. Exactly.
Another thing is just let's be there for each other. Aside from fandom, and being kya out of towards our idols, there's a community that is being built every time, right? So
Right.
Yeah.
Or find your own circle that you can trust.
Yeah.
You don't have to be friends with everyone.
Fine. Just a certain group, even just one person, you can totally be friends with. That is totally fine. When we say rely on haters, yeah, when we say rely on haters, we don't really mean like, like the entire, because there are some haters probably who will not be agreeing with with what we're saying,
Yeah.
right? And that is totally okay. You have to have your own opinions. So yeah, just find your own tribe.
Yeah.
Make them
Yeah.
your support group to talk you through everything, like what's happening, may it be
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
or bad. That's the best way to deal with these kinds of things. Someone to talk to is
Yeah.
the best way to have.
Find friends who are more than just
Yeah.
Johnny's friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Yeah.
people who you click with about other things.
Yeah. My main concern and the thing that I really want to stress is that none of us are trying to patronize or undermine people's feelings or responses to fandom. The thing that really concerned me was the language that people were using. We fortunately, unfortunately, live in a society where we are hashtag woke. We are the millennials. Things are hashtag problematic. Things are hashtag. And it's just really important to remember that someone might be reading your tweet, and if you're throwing around terms that they might find triggering, that's very detrimental to them as people, and that's not fun. That takes the fun out of their fandom experience. And if you found out that you did that, perhaps that would take the fun out of your fandom experience. So it's easier with, do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So it's easier just to write a tweet and then take 2 steps back and go, hey, should I be using a mental illness term to describe something that perhaps affects millions of people and ruins their livelihoods, and equate that to a rumor about a boy band? Guys, if you ever feel like you're alone or you need to leave this earth, you can reach out to people.
Reach out.
Please reach out. Please reach out. It's not worth it. It is really not worth it. Nothing is worth more than your mental health, and nothing is worth more than you. That's kind of my piece, that's just be careful and just remember that you're the most important thing, and so are your friends.
I would actually like to ask Kim, what was your general impression like of or what advice can you give as maybe someone who is not as affected with rumors?
You have your regular life to live on still.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You have to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree, like with Amanda, like if you feel really affected, you should talk to someone about it, and not like these emotions in.
Also, remember Maru's on Twitter, so he's
And
reading
Rio,
this shit.
and Rio. Rio is
And he's
actually
secretly
on Twitter.
proficient. I think that's a good segue into the lighter
Yeah,
side.
I think we should move into the rumors that are actually fun, no, or funny.
My favorite, the one that comes to mind immediately, is not actually a rumor, but is just the photos of Yoko drunk in Staya. Because it's just so hashtag relatable. Like, it's just like, oh, yeah.
It was like 2012.
Yeah. And he's just wandering around, and like you can like see it from like he was seen from the outside, I think, and like he's just doing that thing that you do when you're like, you're walking home drunk and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go into Style. That's a good idea. Yeah, I want this DVD. Like, I think it's great.
The rumor that comes to mind when people talk about rumors, you have to remember I'm a Maru fan. So there is a very famous romance flowchart of many years ago that still kicks around, and basically everyone in Johnny's was connected to Kitagawa Keiko
Oh, I
or
love
Toda
that.
Erika or someone. Yeah, and Maru was attached to Hansan, meaning he was all by himself and alone. Because Maru's rumors, I'm gonna knock them down for our listeners. These are literally Maru's rumors, or like stories about Maru that have been printed. Number one, he was in Roppongi McDonald's, and he was eating fries by himself, and he went to the counter and ordered more fries, and people started to notice who he was, so he got uncomfortable and left his fries there to go cold.
Come on, everyone.
So there was that.
Just let Maru have his fries.
Yeah. Let him have his fries. There is the time that he was in Friday, or it might have been Friday or Flash, and he was, oh my God, guys, in a combini buying things, and it may have been beer.
Oh, I know that.
Maybe.
I know that. I remember that.
A man in his 30s buying alcohol.
Then there is the time that he was visiting his family in Kyoto, and he ended up going on a walk and stopped and talked to a bunch of old people for 3 hours.
So every time he goes to Kyoto?
So every time he goes, so this is a common theme, Maru going on his sampos, stopping and talking to old people.
So sweet.
And then them finding out later. Yeah, because this is Maru. But then, of course, there is the rumor, well, it's not a rumor, his father, who is not particularly the nicest guy in the world. He married a 22-year-old woman with a child. And the rumor was that it was actually Maru who married this woman and became the stepfather to her child. And his father was just covering it for him. So that's basically all of Maru's rumors.
We love you, Maru.
Yeah. So all of Maru's rumors are kind of just Mad World plays in the background.
Right. Yeah. What about you, Zach? What's your favorite rumor?
I remember before I did this and I even changed my ringtone because of it. That Rio has like the sugar mommy since she was his junior days, and apparently he's dating an American or something like that. That he has a special Doraemon.
Oh, I know.
ringtone
I
for
remember
her.
that. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's half American, half Japanese, and has a special Doraemon ringtone for her.
Oh, just the infamous thigh biting incident and the kicking out of the
Yeah.
taxi.
Elaborate on that.
It's so
I
fun.
feel like I've actually. Is that two separate rumors, or was it the same?
No, isn't it the same?
I feel like I may have conflated it in my head, but yeah, like I
Yeah,
just
me
imagined,
too.
like he bites her and then he throws her out of the cab.
Yeah, that's what I thought so too. Like he bit, then he kicked her out because
right.
she rebuffed him.
My favorite rumor was actually, I got this from Owasako before, and it was so ridiculous when I first read it. It's been stuck in my head ever since. Apparently, Ryo and Ono of Arashi went drinking, and they entered a soba shop or something or whatever. And at some point in the rumor, Ono says to Ryo, "Hey, soldier," and I'm like, "What?" it was just what? Yeah, so Ono called Ryo soldier or whatever, and yeah, that was just what? It sounds like
Hey, soldier, you docked for long in your Costco. Want to have a good time before you get back on the ship? Like, I think there are some absolutely gold rumors out there. So now we've gotten all the serious stuff out of the way, let's move on to our regular segment, the Rolling Coaster Shuffle. This week, it's Ato Pop.
Ato Pop was released June 8th, 2010 under Imperial Records. It was a B-side of their 18th single, 365 nichi kazoku, 365 days of family, boring, PV, people cry, etc. Together with Train in the Rain and the famous Kugo Shaniban Eiseki, aka the most awkward duet ever to be put to music.
Nazami Hikari.
Awkward pair. Awkward.
It was written by Yasuda Shota and arranged by Oni Shingo. And it was a remake of Top Up, which was Yasu's solo song from the album Patch Uppers. Feels? Thoughts?
Ado Pop, my thoughts are get coined. Yasuda, get coined. Like, you are going to get royalties from 2 songs for a very long time.
Yeah.
Good. That are the same song.
Yes.
Get coined.
Yeah.
Yeah, get money.
I think it's fun.
It is. It's a fun song.
I was watching their performance with it because it doesn't have a PV, but I was watching the performance and they're having fun doing the song, especially when they go to the Yosh part where Ryo just like does the motion with her hands, like doing like something sexual thing, but then
It's a really good song to sing along to, and it's a really good karaoke song as well.
It is.
the message is really good also, and it's like moving forward and so on.
I like it better than Top Up, actually. Sorry, Yasu. But I mean, it
Yeah,
just
me
sounds
too.
more fun
Yeah,
than
actually-
Top Up. And I think they made it be
Yeah.
more fun than Top Up.
Yeah, and I think before, when Yasu performed Top Up and Patch Uppers, some of them also came out.
Yeah, I think they all did, actually. If I remember correctly.
I think that's what happened. That's why they made Ato Pop, because Top Up was so fun. Everyone wanted part of it, and then they recorded a Ato version.
My favorite part of the song is they all spell Ato Pop. E-I G.
Shall we announce?
We really didn't have a lot to say about Ado
Well,
Pop.
I'm stressed about our time
Yeah,
now
yeah,
that
yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
turn down woman has come.
I think just Ado Pop is it is what it is. We seem to be getting a few songs that are a bit as they are on the
Yeah.
tin, for lack of a better term. They're very kanjani. They're a good
Yeah,
entry
yeah.
level song. So like My Mookie and Ado Pop, they're really
Yeah.
good, entry level songs for fans as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean it's you always dance to it. You can't turn Ado Pop off when it comes on.
Yeah.
Because we are obviously in Tokyo and our music is attached to our computer. Zaki is in front of the computer, but there was so much technical stuff that we didn't want to stress her out even more. But we pre-did the Rolling Coaster Shuffle, and can we have a drum roll, please?
We're gonna have a lot to say.
There is going to be a lot to say about Zoe because the funny thing is we were actually talking about it, and then there's that video tweet that's been going around recently that I think we all retweeted about.
Yeah, which
So
brings me to our shout out for
us to the
this
shout out.
podcast. Shout out to at Mawaro Kisetsu for all those hilarious video compilations of Kanjani 8 of
I was
Kanjani 8
wheezing.
of Kanjani 8 as Vine videos, and also of that video of like when you hear Zoe for the first time, and that video of when me what was that, me when trying to introduce Kanjani 8 to my friends video with Peppa Pig. That was so funny. Yeah. So hi.
It's a
Hi
girl.
at
Is it a
Mawaro
girl?
Kisetsu.
It is a girl,
We love
right?
your videos. We love you. Keep doing them, please.
yes,
Yeah.
please
We
continue.
need
it.
more
Please
of that
continue.
funny
I-
stuff in fandom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This is what we need
Yeah.
in fandom.
Yeah, we need more comedy. We need
Yep.
more hilarity, as it
Yes.
were. So thank you for providing that. I am still getting over the heart
Yeah.
attack when you made me almost drop my croissant vine was used in relation to Kanjani 8. It's literally my favorite vine ever.
Right.
So yes, thank you. You're a
Indeed.
gift. All right, so it's time to wrap up. Thank you so much, as always, for listening. Please make sure that you follow us on Twitter at Jam Ladies. That's a capital J and a capital L. And also on Instagram at jam.ladies. You can find us on all podcasting platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, and Stitcher. And if you could give us 5 stars on iTunes, that would be fantastic. So we can keep producing this high-quality content where I will not always be sounding this sexy. This is not a phone sex line that you've been.
Are you sure,
listening to.
Amanda?
Yeah. Anyway, thank you as always for the retweets
Happy
and
birthday,
the likes
Amanda!
and all the positive feedback.
Happy birthday!
I'm lucky to be with the people that I love, even if it is by Skype. So thanks, guys. And thanks to my best friend Liz, who will also be listening to this. All right, until next time, we have been the Jam Ladies.
Bye.